have a very good binge-worthy show. Do you remember Stargate Atlantis?
Bro, that shit's ass, bro.
Really?
I tried rewatching it, and the graphics are so bad.
Well, yeah, because when we watched it, we were young.
I created a new intro, so I'm going to try it out. You tell me what you think about it, alright?
Okay, let's hear it.
Welcome back to Fly Under the Radar. I'm Timothy, and this is William, and together we'll give you our real insights on the world's most interesting topics.
Yeah,
It's better, right?
it is. But we should put, I'm William, and this is my co-host, Timothy.
Ooh, no, we're not doing that. If anything, I'm the host and you're the co-host. I don't want to do one of those things where it's like, hey, I'm Timothy, and then you're like, hey, I'm William, because I feel like that's kind of cringe, you know what I mean?
So you're just going to introduce me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let, my co-host introduce me.
So we'll try it again. Welcome back to Fly Under the Radar. I'm Timothy, and this is William, and together we'll give you our real insights on the world's most interesting topics. I feel like that's a decent intro. I'll have to memorize it so I don't look at my phone every time I, say it. But for now, that's what we're going to go with.
Or you could just record a sound bit of you doing it, and you could lip it every single time.
Yeah, good
and
one.
the audience will know.
Nah, good one. Good one.
Or let me say it, because they can't see my face anyway, dude.
Bro, you're going to scuff it up. You're going to say, oh, I'm the host, you're the co-host. Anyways, welcome back to Fly Under the Radar. Oh, and I scuffed it up. Welcome back to Fly Under the Radar, everyone. So, yeah, let's just get started. Let's get right into it with Wisdom of the Week. If you guys don't know Wisdom of the Week, we start every episode basically giving you some insight, what happened throughout our week, and something that happened to us that we think could be valuable for you guys today. So anything that happened to you this week that, you want to bless the viewers with today? See, this is the part where you actually prepare something, and you're like, you go straight into it instead of thinking.
I was going to say something, but you rudely interrupted me.
Oh, my bad.
So.
You said for like 5 seconds. Okay, continue on, sir.
For 1 second.
Continue, sir.
So, recently I've been applying or looking for employment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And currently in my industry, it's kind of like hard to do so. I guess the economy's in shit right now, everywhere. So, my wisdom of the day is, if it's from the Bible, right? It's like if a wise man falls down 7 times but gets up 8, right? Which basically means like never give up. Like you might like get an interview, it might go well, but then you might not get the job. It's okay. Keep applying, keep working at it. No matter what, right? Like let's say you're like working on something, or even like at the gym. Let's say you're trying to hit a PR, you're working at it for months. You try to lift and get it. You don't get it. Well, that doesn't mean you stop and you give up. It means you get back up and you keep trying again and again, right? So,
yeah.
Basically, doesn't matter how many times you fail, you should keep getting up and keep going at it again if you really want to accomplish something. So.
I feel like that's very applicable to every aspect of life. You know what I mean? Not necessarily, if you fall down, you get back up, because that's kind of cringe. Like, everyone says that. It's like, I feel like it's so overused, but it's true.
It's really like a verse
of
the Bible, bro.
No. I'm saying, no.
That's where it comes from. That's just the metaphor.
No, but
right?
everyone says it. Like, if you fall down, you get back up. And I feel like it's kind of cringe because people say it too often. But the meaning behind it is so true. It's not necessarily, if you fall down, keep going. It's more about, like, you're going to have to do something a few times before it kind of works out.
You need to have persistence.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, it's the same thing for anything. Like, with sales, with dating, with getting a job, with,
even this anything. Podcast, bro.
It's about just repetition.
How many subscribers? Do we didn't do a subscriber count yet?
I think we're at the same because we recorded the last podcast like 3 days ago.
I guess so.
So we're at 36 subscribers.
We're not going to stop, though.
Yeah, it's just about persistence. And I think right now for us, it's about, which is kind of my wisdom of the week, is momentum. And it kind of builds off of what you were saying. Like, for me, I always had a hard time kind of doing things consistently. And for me, the best way to do that is to build momentum, Like, when I'm trying to, read a book or, get into, working for a few hours, I'm not going to start by reading 3-4 chapters of a book. I'll start by reading 1 chapter for a week. Or maybe even less. If that's too hard, and read 1 page for a week. Once that becomes a part of your routine, a habit, and you're like, okay, this doesn't feel uncomfortable anymore, then maybe add a little bit more, you know? Maybe
Yeah.
do a little bit more, you know, just slowly progress and do more and more and more. Because for me, I don't know, some people are different. I can't just jump straight into something. Like for this week, why I'm kind of saying it is because I'm like, okay, I'm going to wake up at 5:45 a.m. I'm going to start hitting the gym this week because I missed the gym because we were working at the CNE, so I wasn't able to hit the gym. So I'm like, I'm going to do that. Bro, I haven't been able to wake up at 5:45. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's restart because I've done this before. What did I do? Okay, first things first. Instead of waking at 7:30 a.m., maybe I wake up at 7 a.m., you know? And just slowly backtrack it until I get to the time I want to and just slowly start progressing. So I think momentum for me is a huge thing. And I think if you guys are struggling to just start anything, just start small, build momentum, and just keep going. So
Yeah, I feel like I'm the opposite. I feel like I'm very disciplined. So it's like if I need to get up at 5 in the morning, I'll literally do it like tomorrow and do what I need to do, right? Which is like not everyone can do that. And even me, like when I like the first like 3 days of doing that, I will suffer. But I feel like for me, I'm a lot better at just like, okay, I need to do this, start doing it, and then just be consistent with it, right? Be disciplined to just stay at it, right? So
I think it depends on what you're doing too, because if I need to do it, then sure, I can do whatever the fuck I need to do. But it's like I don't need to wake up that early, you know? I don't need to work out in the morning.
right, but that's where the discipline versus momentum comes in, right? I
Yeah.
feel like momentum is really good for people who need to build discipline, right? Because if you're a very disciplined individual, then you'll basically do anything you want. Sure, if it's important, then most people will be more disciplined for important things than like for things that they'd want to do, like, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds or I want to like, look better or whatever, right? That type of stuff. But
I think in this day and age, people are fucked with discipline, especially with, short form content, YouTube.
I mean, that's the
then
problem, right?
That's why I think momentum is probably good.
Momentum
for a lot of
is good
people.
advice for people in this day and age to do stuff, just to start. And even like me when I was younger, it's always momentum. You got to start slowly and build up to the caliber of where if you are like, momentum is a good starting point. Once you get the momentum and you build discipline, because that's what it does.
Exactly.
It builds discipline. Okay, you're gonna get up earlier and earlier and earlier, and once you have that discipline, you could basically like get off of that for a month, and when you need to, you can just straight away go back into it, right? So that's my take on that. So
Well, there you guys have it. What is it? Wisdom of the week here for you guys. Start off the podcast strong, and yeah, hopefully you guys use that wisdom in your lives, and hopefully that improves it. So now let's get to the question of the week. Again, if you guys want to be a part of question of the week, leave the question down in the comments. And this question of the week, since nobody left a comment, I had to choose it myself. Thank you guys for commenting. Is I wanted to pick something juicy. Get some
let's hear it.
get some sauce into it. What clothing item would make you walk out on a date if someone wore it? So if you're going on a date and it's a blind date and you see the girl walk up and this item of clothing, what are you gonna do? Like you're just dipping before that you even
Bro.
meet. You know what I'm saying? I know you're not the type of guy to just like dip, and just like go someone.
Oh no, I would.
Oh,
Like now, before no, but now it depends what they wear.
that's what the question's
Right.
for. That's what we're making a juice today.
Okay, I'm a very old school, conservative, modest type of guy, so I prefer a classy lady that's actually dressed up properly,
Especially on the first date.
especially on the first date. Like if she's wearing like booty shorts and a crop top, bro, I'm sorry, dude. I'm out, dude. Like, what the fuck are you wearing? You know what I mean? And girls now will say, oh, I can wear what I want, and sure, that's completely fine.
You can't be with
But
me,
like,
though.
if you dress like a hoe, then and expect not to be treated like one, then hey, man, I don't know. That's too big of an expectation, right? If you dress modest and like a classy lady, then you'll be treated like a classy lady, right?
So what you're saying is there has to be a percentage of skin that can't be shown. What will be that percentage of skin?
If she because I like girls that wear skirts. Skirts have to be fucking knee high, bro.
Mm-hmm.
No like short skirts, none of that shit. Fucking knee high, and
So at least 60% has to be covered, because there's gonna be legs, arms, and then face. You know what I
I mean, she can wear like, a t-shirt, I guess. But like, cause I don't really care like how much arm she shows, right? It's just that I rather she not show like cleavage.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like she like has like a shirt on or a nice fucking like blouse or some shit, you know, sundress. Nothing that's too revealing for me, right?
Mm-hmm. And I think that's with most guys, anyways.
Well, that's what that's most
Most-
guys, but then guys these days who just want to fuck will say yes to anything just so that they can sleep with the girl and never talk to her again, dude.
That's a fact.
So.
But we live in a weird world these days. But I feel like for most honest and men who actually are looking for a relationship would be in the same situation as you. So there you have it. Question of the week. I can't really answer it. I would probably just say the same thing as William.
But I mean, to be honest, and I'll be honest, like if I ask a girl off on a date, like let's say I like call her or text, well not text, fuck who the fuck texts in this day and age, right? Everyone, right? But no, I hate texting so much.
I love
texting is so dumb, bro. It's literally like no commitment talking to someone because you send them a text. Like when I used to text, people was like I'm bored or I have time and I want to text them, I would talk to them right now. Now I just call people. Cause it's like,
bro, I just love the gifts, man.
gifts are one thing, but it's like I text, oh hey bro, you busy? And then it's like fucking half the day goes by. Oh sorry, just saw this. Bullshit, you fucking just saw this, bro. If I called you, would have picked up right away or just not picked up. And if you saw me call you, then you call me back and we talk, right? So fuck texting. But what was I talking about?
I don't know. You just kind of went on a tangent there.
I was talking about, yes, if I go out on a date with a girl, then I like obviously talk with her before. I'm telling you what the fuck she's wearing, dude. Straight up.
But it's a blind date, fam.
Oh, like, dude, I would never go on a blind date.
Yeah, you would, brother.
I actually did recently, but that's
You're
besides
just
the point.
like-
That's besides the
okay.
point.
Okay,
Well, not
brother.
really.
Let's move
But-
on because if we stay on this, you'll talk about this for the whole episode. All right, we're bringing back. I don't want to say it's a classic because nothing's a classic yet. We're still figuring out stuff, but I hope this can be a classic. Pass or chat. So I did some research this week.
So we're finally gonna rate girls, dude.
Definitely not the thing. Pass or chat. If you guys are new, I'm gonna name a headline of something that happened this week. I'm gonna see if William wants to pass it, so we don't talk about it, or chat. I'll give him a bit more detail, and then we kind of talk and give our opinions of the situation. So, pass or chat. Germany ends Team USA's FIBA World Cup run in semifinals. Pass or chat.
Chat. What's the FIBA World Cup?
So FIBA is like, because before you can actually get into the World Cup for sports, you have to do like smaller tournaments before. So FIBA is like if you win or you get a certain ranking in the FIBA league, you qualify for the World Cup.
Isn't that based on region though?
Yeah, so it's Canada, US, Germany, like it's based on country.
Right.
Yeah, so this week, USA lost in the semifinals to Germany, and USA always is one of the favorites because of the NBA. So they lost, and there's actually more to the situation I wanted to talk about. Not just that they lost.
Is this basketball?
Yes.
I thought this was football.
No. It's
Because you said World Cup, I'm like, okay, World Cup's like obviously like football, soccer for
No, this
and I'm
is
like, what the
basketball.
fuck? Like, okay, passed it.
Let me first get onto the actual main thing that I wanted to talk about. Is there was a clip going about this USA runner who was saying that, I don't know if you saw this. Basically, he's like, when USA basketball say they win, they say they're world champions. And since he's like an Olympic runner, he's like, how are they world champions if they're only winning domestically? You know what I mean? And it got a lot of traction, and people were talking about it like, oh, wait, this guy makes sense. And all the NBA players were trashing him because it's like, do you get what I mean, though, or no?
I guess. I don't know, bro. Like, but it's like basketball's so dominant in the States that it's like, sure, NBA, there are like the world's best. Because in every fucking Olympics or world class tournament where US is playing basketball, they get first. Well, I guess they lost to Germany this time, no?
Yeah.
But like, who was on the team?
It's like all the new players, like all young rookie players, because all the old players like don't want to play on that anymore, But anyways, I think we're going to continue on to the next thing since you don't really like basketball that much. I don't know if you heard about this, but teen death after spicy one chip challenge raises alarm. Pass or chat?
Chat.
So you know what the one chip challenge is,
It's
right?
the fucking the in the bag, like the spicy chip.
It's
that
like
you
one
eat.
chip.
It's one chip, you eat it and like people like throw up and like drink milk and yak and all this shit.
Yeah, so apparently a kid ate it and he actually died from it. So now they have to recall all the chips from the stores, and there's like this whole commotion going about it. And the chip company has like, obviously they're like not happy about it, but their argument is that the chip is for like 18 and older or whatever, like it's for adults.
Was it on the packaging? Or
Yes, it was on the packaging. But all these kids are buying it and doing it because of all these YouTubers, and they're watching them, so they want to try it. So what are your thoughts on that? Is it morally right? Like, is it their fault? Like, what are your thoughts on the situation here?
If the chip is made for 18 plus, it should be regulated for 18 plus, which is like this. Alcohol is 19 plus in Ontario over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if a child, how old was this kid?
14.
If a 14-year-old goes and fucking downs a bottle of vodka and dies from it,
Mm-hmm.
then they're not gonna sue the vodka company for it, because like we have like the kid got it illegally. It was like, like the alcohol is for this age range above,
Yeah.
we have on the packaging, drink responsibly, don't drink and drive, don't drink while pregnant. They have all this fucking shit, right? So if the chip company promoted this chip to be 18 plus but then the government body didn't regulate it, then I don't think it's the chip company's fault,
Yeah.
because it's like, hey, we like marketed it as like 18 plus. If these stores are not regulating it, or if the government isn't regulating it, then it's like,
It's a weird situation.
well, it's weird in the sense of like, it's like a kid getting cigarettes. It's like a kid getting something that is not for its age group.
Mm-hmm.
It's like giving a kid, like a 12-year-old, like just letting him drive a regular car,
Yeah.
right? Like he doesn't have a license to drive a car, and he's not mentally capable and has like the size, because he can't reach the pedal and all this shit to drive a car properly, right?
Yeah. So
So-
what you're saying is, it's fine for them to do this, but it's not fine for it not to be regulated by the government or the stores that they're selling in them.
If it is for 18 plus, then it's something that you consume,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm sure there's like makeup that's like 18 plus, or like some other like products, right? But if it's something that you consume, then that's something different, right?
I guess.
Because it could be like, it's like a hot pepper. It's like some kind of like, it's basically like, if you think of it like a drug that you take that basically gives you these symptoms of, spiciness or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So if this drug is too much for people under the age of 18, then it should be regulated in some sense.
Yeah.
If not by governing bodies, then for sure the store owners or whoever, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't think I have too much other to say about that, but it is definitely an unfortunate situation.
And also, did this kid go and buy this chip, or did his parents buy it for him or something?
I'm not 100%
because that's completely
sure,
different.
but
Because it's like if I go buy alcohol for a 12-year-old.
Yeah. I'm not 100%
Like-
sure, but I'm like pretty sure that it wasn't the parents that bought it. I'm pretty sure it was just the kid that ended up buying it. Like, I don't think it was there. These
Okay.
things are regulated.
So then
like
there should
that.
be some sort of like regulation for
Mhm.
that, if it's a substance that has these effects.
It's 100%. All right, Tommy Fury fighting KSI in October. Pass or chat? It's a boxing match.
Let's talk about it.
Do you know who Tommy Fury is?
No idea.
So you know Tyson Fury?
Mike Tyson?
No, Tyson Fury. He's like that big gypsy white guy, bald. Have you not seen him?
No.
Okay, well, basically, this guy is his brother, so he has some like people know who he is because of his last name, basically. And then there's KSI, the YouTuber,
Yeah, I know.
and then
KSI
they're
is.
fighting. So it's a pretty interesting fight because this guy,
What
Fury,
are they fighting? Boxing?
yeah, boxing. They're fighting in October. It's gonna be a pretty good fight. Where I think we should watch it and then talk about it on the podcast.
I'd be
But-
down.
Yeah, Logan Paul is fighting on that card. He's fighting Dylan Dennis, which is one of Conor McGregor's like someone on his team, like who he trains with. So it's like there's a lot of hype because there's like a lot of people known in the fighting community.
Okay.
So yeah, what do you think? So Tommy Fury, to give you a bit more backstory, he's been fighting since he was young because like his whole family's a fighting family, right? Like Tyson Fury, like their dad was a fighter as well, like the whole thing. So this guy has like years and years of experience, and then KSI like what 3-4 years now boxing, like on and off. So people say KSI has no chance, but I think it's an interesting fight. Just wanted to get your thoughts on it, just if you heard of him, but yeah, definitely something we should keep an eye on in October.
I mean, fighting is always that sport that's interesting because it's like the most primal thing. It's like basically the first sport.
You're putting your life on the line every time.
Right. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch.
All right. Last thing I have for Pastor Chat today. Actor Danny Masterson from That 70s Show was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison for raping 2 women about 20 years ago. Pastor Chat.
Let's chat about this. He's from That 70s Show. Who was the actor?
I'm not exactly sure who the actor was, but his name is Danny Masterson. Did you watch That 70s Show?
I did watch that.
Well,
so,
I can quickly Google him.
Like the character.
Yeah, let me quickly Google him, but just give me your thoughts on that. Because it's kind of a weird situation. I didn't go through like the whole like court, so I don't know all the evidence and all that stuff. But I always find it a bit odd when it's like 30, like first of all, it was 20 years ago. So how is there evidence from 20 years that's so substantial that he's getting 30 years of prison? Obviously, rape is bad. But it's like it's such a odd situation in the first place.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the women just came out and told it.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's also like,
Stephen Hidd.
Do you have a picture?
This guy.
Oh, wait. No, wait. This guy, bro. This guy was like one of the best guys on the show, too.
Okay.
He was so funny. But I'm actually...
It's a bit like anytime I
surprising.
see this, like obviously I should have done more research, but I'm a bit too lazy. I can't lie. Like I didn't want to go through the whole thing.
It's okay, dude. Momentum, right?
But
Momentum.
one thing to note is Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, you know who they are, obviously.
Yeah.
They were on the show. Asked for leniency for Danny Masterson's in letters to judge, and people are giving backlash to them for that. So they're asking for lenience. Obviously, they're like he's their
they're
friend.
good friends, right?
So it's a weird situation to be in the first place.
I don't know, bro. Without any evidence, we can't really comment on it, right?
That's
'Cause,
why.
like, I don't know if it's actually legitimate. If the women came out like 20 years
It
later
has to
because
be
they were
legitimate because there's no way you're getting 30 years for no like straight proof evidence 20 years later. You know what I mean?
I know, but the court system's also fucked too. Now, I'm not gonna like defend the guy if he did do it, right? I'm just looking at all possible angles and avenues, right? Now, I'm just curious what substantial evidence they brought up that confirms this. Like if they had like some old video that, he's on camera, then like I get it, right?
Yeah.
But if it's like he said, she said type of shit, then it's like, unless you have enough witnesses and stuff, then it can be like, I don't know. It's just a weird situation, right? So
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you never want to see that happen to anyone, obviously, and obviously you never on both sides, So yeah, just a unfortunate situation that anyone has to be in, and if they say what he did was true, then you gotta deal with the actions that.
Well,
he's
yeah,
done,
then like that's horrific if it's true, right? So.
All right. Well, there it is for Pastor Chat today. Yeah, that's basically all the things I could have found that I thought would be interesting to talk about. And yeah, let's just get to our topic of discussion for this week. And honestly, as I said before, like I still don't know where this podcast is going to end up, how we're going to frame it or format it in the future. So I'm kind of just throwing things to kind of see if it sticks or not. So this week I kind of want to, with a bit of a more of a broad entertainment kind of just like willy-nilly topic. and we'll kind of just go from there, see if we can work with it, see if we can get some good discussion out of it. And yeah, so this week I wanted to talk about binge-worthy TV shows. That's kind of just like the broad thing. We'll go into more details of it because I know you like watching TV shows. I definitely love watching TV shows. So before we even talk about any specific TV shows, let's go into the basics. What are the key elements that make a TV show binge-worthy for you personally? Is like there a difference from a regular show and then a binge-worthy show?
Well, you have to define what a binge-worthy show is.
That's why I'm asking you. What do you define as a binge-worthy show? Because I feel like this can be interpreted in so many different ways for every different person. So I was like, you know what?
A
This is
binge-worthy show is a show that you can just watch like the whole like in one sitting. That's like what I like consider a binge-worthy show. If it's that good that you can like sit down and watch in one sitting and just be like enticed to keep watching and watching it, right? That's what I consider a binge-worthy show. Also, if it's like a good series that you want to go back and rewatch because it was really good, I believe that's also like considered binge-worthy because you can watch it multiple times to like understand what happens in the show.
Yeah. So I think for me, binge-worthy, it depends on the show. Because, first of all, if it's I don't really consider any new shows binge-worthy, for example. Because I never watched a show before. You know, I think a binge-worthy show is considered binge-worthy after you finished watching it. At least in my perspective. Because how will you know a show is binge-worthy if you're just watching it? Obviously, like, if you have nothing to do and you want to binge a show, go for it. But I don't think that makes it a binge-worthy show.
I mean, I believe a show that's popular and that's long has to be considered binge-worthy. Because if a show is like let's say like most like regular like animes are like 12 episodes, that's not binge-worthy, bro. You can finish that in like 6 hours. Right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Binge-worthy has to be like either multiple seasons, like 300 plus episodes of a show.
300 plus episodes?
Well, it depends like what show, right?
Well, I guess because some shows are 20 minutes, some shows are like 45 minutes, so.
Well, I mean, I think because right now I watch anime, right? I don't really watch like Western media or shows.
So that's where we differ, and I think we can have different perspectives on that. So for me, I think shows that like can like their value remains. Like let's say for example you're watching a mystery show or a crime show. It's hard to be a binge-worthy show because you already know the crime and like the solution, and that's kind of part of the fun. While with like a comedy like The Office or Friends, they're always going to be binge-watch worthy because you're going to forget some of the jokes. You're going to forget some of like, you know, the funny moments. Obviously, you know the general storyline, but you don't just watch it for the storyline. You watch it for the entertainment. And the entertainment of like a crime show is like you don't know what's going to happen. But for the most part, unless you wait like a few years where you kind of forget it, I would say like more entertainment shows would be considered binge-worthy in my opinion. Anything to add, or should we go to the next question?
So, I agree with you, but I also think there's another aspect to it too. Because, yes, entertaining shows are binge-worthy. But I also believe very like psychological or meaning-filled shows are also binge-worthy. Because if you rewatch it over and over again, you will see hidden details in the show that you haven't, seen before, and then there's a lot of theories that people come up with. I believe shows that are very ambiguous are binge-worthy.
Word of the day, ambiguous.
Ambiguous. Because a show that's very linear, like, like Luke's, like, let's say Star Wars, like Luke Skywalker on the home world, gets trained by Obi, goes on an adventure, fights, Darth Vader, loses, and you have this whole, like, linear progression. It's a good watch, but I wouldn't say it's binge-worthy. But something where you need to watch it over and over again to understand the hidden meaning inside of it, and that they don't tell you all the answers in the show, is something I feel like is very binge-worthy.
There are not many shows like that, though, I feel like. I feel like most shows are pretty basic. There's kind of like a start, finish, and then ends. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a few animes that are like that are like
Okay,
really good.
but like I don't watch anime, so we'll get into the difference between anime and regular shows in a second. But I think obviously I think the term binge worthy TV show is different for everyone. So there's not like a specific this has to be a binge worthy show, this hasn't. One show could be binge worthy to you, and one show could be not binge
Well,
worthy.
that's
to
for
another
preference,
person.
but I think the main definition of like the binge show is that an individual who can watch or rewatch a show extensively, consecutively. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
So-
agree. All right. Now that we have the term binge, kind of described, let's do something. Let's ask some questions about some shows that we think are binge worthy. But before we get to specific shows, I want to be a bit more unique. So, what do you think is a TV show that you initially watched that you didn't expect to be kind of good or good enough to be binge worthy? You kind of watch it, you're like, okay, I'll kind of just watch it because everyone's telling me to watch it. But after you finish it, you're like, bro, I
Oh,
want to watch
that's-
this over again.
That's so easy. It's The Office, bro.
Yeah,
First season of The Office is garbage.
it is.
And
pretty
anyone
garbage.
who ever watched The Office knows once you get past the first season is when the whole show changes.
What changed from the first to second season for people that didn't watch The Office? That really kind of made you like, oh, this is a good show.
I think the main thing that they changed from the first season and second season is what's the fucking boss's name? Michael
Scott.
Michael Scott.
Bro, man doesn't even know the name of.
I haven't watched it in a long
Bro,
time.
you have to you gotta binge The Office after this, brother. You're
Nah, dude,
man's
but like
forgot.
the character of Michael Scott between season 1 and season 2 are very different. Even the way he dresses is very different. In the first season, he's seen as this big, big shot boss who's like, sexist, racist, all this other shit,
Mhm.
and no one likes him. And when like he says shit, like I don't remember, but the scene where I don't know if Pam slaps him in the first season. I think she does. It's just dead silent. There's like no like it's just so like awkward,
Yeah.
right? Like his character is so awkward. But compared to the first and second, I mean the second season he's still all those things, but he has some competence to him.
Mhm.
Like he can get like business deals done.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's a good employee.
Yeah.
Before he was just like Mr. like boss, fuck you, I can't do anything, I'm stupid as fuck. But then in the second season, he's all those things like funny, dumb, and all this shit. But he's competent in
Yeah,
the sense
because
of like
he's the manager.
he's
so
the manager,
He has to be
right.
somewhat competent.
So I feel like that emphasis on that moving forward afterwards really brought the show together. Because
Mhm.
obviously people haven't watched The Office. Michael Scott is kind of like he's the main character. You know what I mean? Like sure, there's Jim and Pam's like side story, but like it's about Michael Scott. It's about this fucking boss trying to be bros with this fucking with his office.
Yeah,
So
it's definitely a good watch. Highly recommended if you haven't watched it. So
but yeah, no. If you want to watch The Office, first season's really bad. After first season, you're gonna fucking love it. One of the best
Mhm.
shows of all time.
all right, for me, a show that I initially didn't think was gonna be binge worthy. It's hard because it's like I want to name so many different shows because I feel like every show when I first start off I don't really think it's gonna be a good show because everyone tells me watch it. But I want to go back to like there's some old classics, but again, some of them kind of contradict with what I said earlier about binge-worthy shows. One of them is White Collar. At first when I watched White Collar, it was a good show. It was like a crime show, kind of, not necessarily like the crime you're thinking, like a white collar crime, basically what the title says. And you kind of think that you're never gonna like. It's one of the shows that's kind of one and done.
Yeah.
But after a few years, I rewatched it and binged it, and I was like, wait, this is actually pretty good because you're kind of noticing, as you said, you're noticing things that only after you watch it fully it makes more sense now. So I think I try to say something a bit more underrated because I feel like The Office is pretty well known.
Yeah.
I feel like most people haven't seen White Collar. If you guys like crime like shows, if you guys like mystery detective stuff and you guys want to think, that's definitely a show. I think at first it didn't really think it was gonna be binge worthy, but ended up being a pretty good binge worthy show. So yeah. So now that we talked a bit about, binge-worthy shows and, obviously we love watching TV shows, I feel like we kind of have to talk a bit about the negatives of, binging stuff. So, like, not necessarily the negatives just yet, but how do you kind of balance the desire to kind of watch multiple episodes of a show, while you have to do other things like sleep or like, do some work? Like, how do you kind of balance that so you don't just like fucking binge? There's a time to binge and there's a time to work. So how do you kind of manage that yourself?
Well, it goes back to being disciplined, right? Like if I set a bedtime for myself, then I'm gonna go to bed at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna binge all night something, because it's like in my thought process, well, I already wake up early anyway. If I'm not really not doing anything the next day, I'll just go to bed early, get my 8 hours of sleep, wake up, and if I'm really not doing anything, then I'll just keep watching it while not being sleep deprived or have a fucking headache from like waking up at 12 or some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just being disciplined and understanding what's important. But plus, I feel like this is like a mini rant, but I feel people like don't like underestimate how important sleep is.
100%.
But not even sleep, but like sleeping at the right time, right? Because normally before we had fucking electricity, people would go to bed when the sun would set and wake up when fucking sun rose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this idea of like sleeping through the night and being fucking nocturnal is not a thing.
Yeah, and I've watched a few different podcasts and watched a few YouTube videos, and they all kind of say the same thing. The first thing is you have to have at least minimum 7 hours of sleep. Minimum to be functional. Obviously, if you have a few 6-hour days, it's all right, but that can't be your main thing.
No, people would say I can survive on 5 or 6 hours like permanently. No.
Like
stop.
7 hours minimum is what you
like
need.
maybe like 1% of the population can.
And then
but
the
not
second thing is like it has to be at the same time. It can't be like going to sleep at around 10 to 11 and then waking up at like, I don't know, 6 or 7. Like it has to be in the same time frames. Because if you're like going to bed earlier or you're going to bed later, you're messing up your sleep schedule.
Yeah.
Like taking naps throughout the day is not good at all. Obviously if you're ill and you need the extra rest, sure, take the naps. But that's like, one in maybe every few months or a year, depending how often you're sick. But taking naps or like sleeping during the day, like changing your sleep schedule is very, very unhealthy for you. What I read online, obviously I don't have the data to back that up, so I go and tell you guys to do your own research on it. But what I've read and educated myself on is having a consistent sleep schedule, waking up and going to sleep around the same time is the best for the best health you can have. So yeah. And then going back to the question, which was how do you kind of balance it? For me, it's a bit different. It's not just about discipline. For me, it's about scheduling. For me, if I have a good schedule and I'm like, okay, I have to go to bed at this time, or, I have a time period like, okay, during 7 to 10 o'clock, 3 hours, I can binge my show, or if I want to go walk before, maybe 2 hours, just making sure I set that time for binging. Obviously it's not the binging we're talking about. If you really want to binge, be like, okay, today all I'm doing is watching the show. Set a day aside, be like, okay, I did my work, do some work in advance, and then set the time to do that, and just making sure your schedule is you're following your schedule.
But I feel like having a schedule requires discipline.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like
no, I don't think having a schedule. I think following the schedule requires discipline.
Yeah.
Because everyone can have a schedule. It's just about following it, and that goes back to momentum. If you guys want to start doing a schedule, just start small. Just start with 3 things you have to do that day. 3, 4, 5, then it kind of catapults into your whole day being a schedule. Anyways, I think that was actually pretty informative for everyone. So now that we got that out of the way, I know we already talked about 2 shows that we think are pretty binge worthy. I want to just maybe give me a top 3 list of binge worthy shows. Like right now, if they, and I don't want to like the most popular shows. I want 3 of the most underrated shows that people need to binge watch. You can add anime if you want. I'll allow that. But 3 shows that you guys 3 underrated shows that I think they would want to watch. And then a brief description of what the show is.
But you said underrated shows.
Yeah. Like 3 underrated shows they should binge watch, because I feel like everyone's gonna be like, oh, The Office, the shows they haven't seen. You know, because I feel like people that are watching this are probably people that consume a lot of content already, and they probably already have seen a lot of shows. So something that they've never heard of, or maybe they heard of but never got a chance to watching it, this is the time to tell them, you guys got to watch these shows right now. Or put it on your list of shows to watch. I know that was the worst explanation I could have given, but
it's hard, man. 'Cause
just like...
I feel like underrated shows are hard, right? Like,
All right, just start. We'll bounce off. You say one, I say one, so you don't have to say three in a row. One show they have to binge watch right now, underrated. Or
okay,
should
but
I start?
define underrated.
Underrated is a show that you seen that you really like, that you think most people probably haven't seen.
Okay, so I can't say Dragon Ball because probably everyone's seen that shit, dude.
If they've seen anime.
Underrated show. Okay, so I feel like most people in the anime community know this, but for those who are not in the anime community, I feel like if you wanna watch an anime that's not like actually like anime-ish, well, it is anime-ish, but in the sense of like a good anime that's not like cringe like most animes are, Steins Gate, which is basically like a show about this guy who like makes a time machine, and then there's like this whole like things that like happening like around that, where like he has like this laboratory with like, well, like a laboratory, it's his fucking like his basement or some shit, right? Like some fucking room. But then he like meets a bunch of friends and they go through like, it's like very mystery, very like psychological.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some romance in there too, you know, with me you gotta have the romance, right?
Okay.
And I feel like honestly it's very, if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. It was the first anime I ever watched, and it was really good. I feel like it's pretty underrated, even though I feel like in the anime community it's very praised by. So
personally, I'm not a huge fan of anime, but I can respect it. You know, just because you don't like something doesn't mean you can't respect it.
I feel like
respect
you'd
the
actually like
community.
this. I feel like because it has some time travel in it, and it's not like too much on the anime.
Bro, I don't know what it is, but anytime I watch animated movie or animated TV show, I'm not gonna say every movie because, you know, shout out Kung Fu Panda and Shrek, those are goated. But like for the most part, anytime I watch like a Disney movie or like just I try to watch anime, bro, I just fall asleep, bro. Like for some reason I just like can't focus.
Watch
when I
Dragon
watch
Ball.
anime.
I guarantee all that screaming,
Bro, that literally every time I say that, someone's like, watch this show, watch this show, watch this show. Every time I try. Halfway through the episode, I'm like, bro, I just can't. Anime is just not for me, bro. I think for me, I just like something that's like realistic and that I can like, you know, I can like not necessarily like relate to, but like I feel like I can understand it being a bit more realistic,
Fair
even though
enough.
none of the shows are realistic as fuck, and they're so like out of proportion. Just seeing them as humans makes me, you know, connect with them more. All right, my first show that I would recommend that I think is underrated, that I think should binge watch. It's an old show. I'll probably recommend a lot of old shows, but it's called Chuck. Remember Chuck?
Yeah, I remember Chuck. That show was pretty good.
That is an OG show. So to give you a quick background of the show, basically this guy, you know, he opens an email, he gets all this information and basically gets trapped in his head. So basically he's like super smart, he knows everything, super knowledgeable. And basically, you know, I think the FBI or whatever are like, you know, obviously trying to get that out of him because they want it. It's their technology. And, you know, it's kind of stuck with him. So they kind of have to use him and work with him. And it's kind of like a spy crime show. And it's pretty entertaining. It's a bit old. I think probably like early 2000s, maybe late 2000s, something like that. But highly recommended, 10 out of 10.
Oh, I have a very good binge-worthy show.
All right, let's hear your second.
And it's not an
underrated
anime.
binge. Okay.
Do you remember Stargate Atlantis?
Bro, that shit's ass, bro. I
Really?
tried rewatching it, and the graphics are so bad.
Well, yeah,
Bro.
because when we watched it, we were young, and that
Bro.
shit was like fire for the time.
Bro, I looked back at it and like the aliens are so dookie, bro. It's like you could tell they're people in suits. But like I remember watching that as a kid and that was pretty funny.
I mean, the whole Stargate series, I feel like is pretty binge worthy because there's like a lot of episodes, and there's like a Stargate movie that like actually started off the whole franchise and stuff.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Stargate is basically a show where these people find like this wormhole. They're basically called Stargates. They're basically on like planets around the universe. There's like these like circles that you can like walk through, and it's like a wormhole basically, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah. I mean, I enjoyed that when we were younger.
Yeah, I enjoyed it when I
right?
was younger, but I tried rewatching it and I'm like, hell no. So yeah.
No, but I feel like that's underrated. I feel like most people didn't hear that. And if you
Mhm.
want like a nice sci-fi show that's kind of like not really Star Wars because it's like more like
It's like wormhole travel and stuff
like
like
wormhole travel with like military and stuff, then I feel like you'd probably enjoy it. So.
that. Mhm. That is I don't know. Yeah.
And Stargate Atlantis, Jason Momoa is in that.
That
so,
is true.
Yeah, you can see how he looked
OG.
when he was younger. So.
Jason Momoa. All right. My second binge-worthy show is for. Oh, I don't know if I want to say this one. Like, I'll say it, but it's like I don't know. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I feel like if you haven't seen it, it's like you're not a real superhero fan. The OG Superman show, Smallville.
Dude, that shit was so good. I fucking love that shit, bro.
OG.
That was so good, dude.
Underrated. If you guys like superhero stuff, you've probably seen it. If you haven't, it's basically the upbringing of Superman, like in
Smallville,
in
basically.
Smallville. So it's not really a superhero show. Like obviously he has his powers and stuff, but like there's a lot more to the show than that. So if you guys aren't really into the superhero stuff, you like kind of dramas and stuff like that, you'll probably like that show.
Bro, I fucking gotta rewatch that, dude. Now that you say that.
See, now I got him to rewatch it. That's a binge-worthy show. All right, last one. Last binge-worthy show you would recommend. Underrated.
Last underrated binge-worthy show. Fuck, bro. I don't know.
No? All right. I'll give one more for the people. It's not as underrated as the last two I
It's an
said,
underrated show.
but I think I personally like it. Like there's a lot of controversy on the ending for this one, but after you rewatch it a second time, it makes a lot more sense. So it's one of those shows you have to watch twice, and you're like, wow.
You know what was an underrated show? Scorpion.
But that was like 2 seasons, fam. They canceled the show.
I guess so.
So I wouldn't watch a show that got canceled in 2 seasons. But I was gonna say How I Met Your Mother. I know it's not as underrated as my last two, but it's kind of like
I was really thinking about that shit too, bro.
it's kind of like the B Tech of Friends of like the drama. Like Friends would be S tier, then
Barney Stinson.
How I Met Your Mother would be A tier. Like that's kind of the consensus. Obviously, there's some diehard How I Met Your Mother fans, but if you like Friends, you like How I Met Your Mother. So. Definitely a vibe. I don't even need to describe the show because it's in the title, How I Met Your Mother. Basically, the father is telling a story to his kids about how he met his mom. Basically, go through his whole I don't know, like 30s or like 20s, 30s, and basically how they ended up there. So those are my 3 shows I would recommend. And yeah. I guess there's a few extra questions before we get to the games today. The games! So, things that I think are pretty relative to this day and age is, kind of something I want to get your thoughts on is how has the rise of, streaming platforms really affected the way we consume TV in general?
I mean, like we mentioned in a previous podcast, bro, who the fuck watches, like, television, bro? Like, actual, like, programmed television, dude. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. Everyone's on this streamers and YouTubers and all this shit, right? So, I feel like with streamers, it's more interactive, which what people like.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you sit there and watch television, you're just watching some, like, program that some people made. when you're watching a streamer, you're watching some random fucking guy play games or talk or some shit, right? So it's more interactive because you can actually chat with them and stuff.
Do you know what I think they should do? I don't know if they're thinking of it, but like when they should, like, for Netflix and stuff, they should have, like, when they release a show, they should release it live. You know, like kind of like what they did on TV, where it releases live, and there should be a chat. You know what I mean? So people can watch the new shows together online. I feel like that could be a vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, instead of, because right now they just release it. Usually on Netflix they release like a full season at a time. You know what I mean? So how about they do it is like they release it like maybe
like how anime does it. It's like every week there's a new show comes out.
every week, or if they want
or a
to
new
release,
episode, I mean.
or like every day, or like however they want to do it. But there's like a chat. So it's like you could talk with the other people, and I feel like the communities would be a lot bigger and the shows would get a lot more hype. You know, if the show is trash, people say it in the chat. The show is good, people would say it too. I don't know. I think it would be an interesting
Well,
idea.
maybe. I don't know.
Could be very interesting. Yeah, I think that's really it. We could talk about the negatives of binge watching, but I think we kind of touched on that earlier.
I mean, sitting in front of a fucking screen for
It's a waste of
12
time.
plus hours
So-
is, well, one, a waste of time, two, bad for your health, brother. You know,
That is a
go
fact.
touch some grass, guys. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, there really isn't much to it. If you guys want to, relax at the end of the day, definitely recommend it. But binging, maybe save it for like once a year. Choose a show, binge it for like 2-3 days, but like don't do it too often. It's not something that should be happening on a daily or weekly basis.
Yeah.
So there it is. You have it, guys, on binging shows. Kind of our thoughts, our opinions on it. I thought it was an interesting topic for the week. Just trying to spice it up, trying to see different things, and talk about different stuff as well. Now let's get to the games. Well, I guess one game, one kind of a new thing I wanted to try out. So while we're on the topic of TV shows, I wanted to do a top 5 draft of TV shows. Thought, why not just kind of go for it? And I feel like we should be a bit more specific, because if we do this, you're just going to name animes and I'm just going to name drama. So do you want to be a bit more specific on what kind of TV shows you want to choose, or do you want to just make it any show?
I feel like doing any show is fine.
You want to just go any show? Man, just going to pick 5 animes.
No, I won't.
All right. Well, we'll do a top 5 draft. If you guys don't know the top 5 draft, how it works, basically, we're going to each pick one by one TV shows that we like. And at the end, we're going to give you our final, 5, both of us. And then you guys rate in the comments who had the better draft. So, let's do top 5 draft TV shows. Let's get started.
Oh, I'm yoinking Smallville, bro. I'm straight up yoinking that shit, bro.
Bro, like, again, you don't have to pick the ones just between the two of us. You have to pick with the minds of the audience, So, like, what they think is the best, because they're rating who's winning the draft, But if you want to pick Smallville, go for it.
I'm taking Smallville.
I feel like
bro.
most of them haven't heard of it.
I mean, your dumbass is gonna fucking pick Friends now or some shit, dude.
I'm obviously going to pick Friends.
Friends is
as
such a
number
mid
one.
fucking TV
It
show,
is
bro.
so good.
It's mid, bro.
It's so good. I don't even need any explanation, bro. The people know
It's so
Friends.
mid, bro. Me, Dragon Ball Z, bro. Straight up, dude. If you like anime and you're an OG, or if you grew up on it, bro, everyone knows Dragon Ball Z, right?
Again, anime,
Everyone knows who Goku is, bro. Even you probably know who fucking Goku is.
Yeah.
Even though you fucking watch that.
But
shit,
it's
right?
anime, so I don't really like it, but I don't know how many people in our audience likes anime, so maybe it's a good pick, maybe it's not. I can't really tell. I'm going to go with The Office, because you're just giving me the easy picks right now. So, Office, Michael Scott. Probably, I think Friends and The Office are probably like top 5 TV shows of all time. So thank you for giving that to me, sir. What is your number 3?
You're number 3rd.
Number 3 show of all time.
Fuck, man. I don't know. I feel like I've watched so much, bro. Like, I could do movies so much easier than this shit, bro. But TV shows? Fine, I'll just take How I Met Your Mother, bro. Even though this shit's like mid.
It's not mid. It's a good pick.
It's
I like
fucking
that
mid,
pick.
bro.
I like that pick. How I Met Your Mother.
It's fucking mid, dude.
It's not mid, fam. It's great. I've binged it like probably 2 or 3
It's a
times.
fucking show, dude.
Okay, so that's your third pick, How I Met Your Mother. I feel like I have to pick a different kind of theme genre because I feel like I'm just kind of in the same space with Friends, The Office, kind of same thing. So let me see. Let me pick Suits. I think Suits is a great show. It's a lawyer show. You've probably seen it. We saw the mans at the CNE. So I have to, pick it up for my mans for showing us some love and buying some pierogies. So gotta get Suits.
Calm.
Number 4, sir. Man's just trying to think of any show that he knows right now.
I mean, I haven't watched like conventional Western TV.
Well,
or
you can
shows
just pick
in a while.
animes, brother, if you want.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna pick like some random anime that like you don't know, right? And but this is a list for them, what they think. I pick Dragon Ball Z because it's like people know what that is because
That's
it's
fair.
like conventional.
That is
If I pick
fair.
some random ass fucking anime that no one knows, then it's like okay,
Man's
bro.
just taking L's.
What's a fucking regular ass like normie show that people fucking watch, bro? What's that fucking one that all the bitches love, dude? I'm gonna take Grey's Anatomy.
Bro, that was on my list.
And I never
man.
fucking watched that shit, bro.
It's a good show.
It's probably it's trash. I
It's
fucking watched the
good.
first like 2 episodes because some girl convinced me to. Garbage, dude.
It's a pretty
So why am I
good
even
show.
picking it, bro?
You know,
Actually, can I revoke that?
No, that's what, your third one or fourth one?
Fourth.
Fourth. I'm gonna be a bit out of the box here and go with something that I've watched in the past. I don't watch anymore. Some reality TV. We're gonna go with Love Island, a classic. If you don't know what it is, it's fine. But like, if you know, you know. Like, people go hard for that shit.
I used to
bro.
watch those shits, dude. They were so
They're
stupid.
so
They
freaking
were so
garbage,
dumb,
but
bro.
like, I know a bunch of people love it, so I have to put it on my list. Just
Dude, I just sabotaged my list by picking Grey's Anatomy.
I had
bro.
to have some diversity in on my team, so that's why I'm going with Love Island there. Last pick, sir. Make it a banger.
Fuck, bro. I like. Oh, you know what's a garbage show, dude? Modern Family, dude. That shit's so bad. Shit's so bad, dude.
Well, we're talking about top fives right now, sir.
Okay, I only
Do you want
know
me to
like.
give you some options to help you out?
Sure.
Because, see, this is why, before we do the top 5 drafts, I was like, yo, let me give you what the top 5 draft is so you can prepare. This guy doesn't want me to send it to him. He doesn't want to prepare for anything, so we might have to stop doing top 5 drafts just because this guy doesn't want to prepare, so we might have to find some better games for my mans.
What the
Anyways.
fuck are you even talking about, bro? You don't send me shit. You don't even tell me what the fuck's gonna happen in the episode.
Bro, last
'Cause
week...
you don't even
no,
fucking
bro,
tell
bro,
me
bro,
shit,
bro,
bro.
Last
And then
week
this guy's
I-
gonna blame it on me, bro.
Bro. Last
Just give me
week-
the fucking
bro,
options,
Bro. Last week I was like, hey, the top 5 drafts is gonna be on, movie genres or just genres in general. And this guy's like, bro, I don't need a.
Well, yeah, because it's movie genres. Everyone knows that, bro.
So what?
But
You
are
only
you-
TV shows you're gonna prepare?
Well, yeah, because I don't watch TV shows,
Bro,
bro.
man's is just
What?
switching on
What if I made a top
camera.
5 on animes? You don't watch animes, bro. Then you have to
Bro.
fucking prepare for that shit. It's literally the same shit here,
No,
dude.
it's not.
Yes, it
You
is.
told me you don't want me to send you stuff, brother.
When the fuck did I say that, bro?
Bro, you said you're never preparing for anything.
That doesn't mean I don't want you to send me shit.
All right, there you have it. We will be sending stuff to him so he can prepare. Big Bang Theory and Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Dude, both of those shows are like garbage, dude.
They're so good.
They're both garbage, dude. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is so overrated, bro.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine
and
is
then
so
Big
good.
Bang Theory is like,
Really good.
okay, bro, like whatever.
So I think...
I have the show. I have the Godsend show. What the fuck is that name, dude? What the fuck's the name, bro? You know who Al Bundy is? What's the name of that show?
Al Bundy? Oh, Good Days or...
No. What the fuck? Dude, I love that show so much, bro. What is it called?
Isn't it The Good Days or whatever?
No, it's like Married with Children, dude. That fucking show. If you've never watched Married with Children,
Bro, man just
Every-
lost.
you are bro. Straight dumb, dude. Married with Children is such a funny show, bro. It's so good, dude.
All right.
It's so good, bro.
Well, I have a lot of good options left. So I have Big Bang Theory.
Dude, I got a fucking
I
binge
have
Married with Children.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Trash.
I could go with what else do I have here? Prison Break, great show.
Never watched.
Some good shows. So to maybe diversify my list a bit more, I'll go with Prison Break. I have Friends, The Office, Prison Break, Love Island, and then what was my last one? I already forgot. It was something. Well, there you have it, guys. That was probably the worst game we've played so far. And again, as you guys can see, the podcast still needs a lot of work, and we'll kind of figure it out as we go. However, I do have one more, not necessarily game. It's more of a try not to laugh. So I'm gonna just say some things. So wait, let me open this real quick. So basically how it's gonna work is it's basically a tweet, and then there's like a response to the tweet. So the theme is baby boomers. So there's gonna be, well, not necessarily a response, my bad. It's just a tweet that makes fun of baby boomers. All right?
Sure.
And if you don't laugh, or if you do laugh, you can rate it. I don't know. We're kind of just going on the fly here. Baby boomers act like not knowing how to rotate a PDF is a personality trait.
I don't really get it. It's not funny.
Because they say they can't use like the computer and stuff. Baby boomers' only personality traits are sharing pictures of animals with the caption, "I bet I won't even get one share," and liking their own posts on Facebook. I'm so tired of boomers acting like eating only meat and cheese is a personality trait.
Bro, what is this fucking like Gen Z garbage memes like?
I hate boomers whose singular personality trait is complaining about people using their phones.
Nah, this is not funny, bro.
Can someone tell baby boomers that making fun of ripped jeans isn't a personality trait?
I don't know. For me, like this personality trait, like jokes don't like make me laugh, dude. Like who cares, bro? Like everyone's like, it's a personality trait.
Well, there you have it, guys. Great episode today. Kind of fumbled the bag at the end, but now we know what type of things we can do on the podcast. I tried it. Sometimes you shoot and it doesn't go in the hoop and it airballs, so it is what it is. I'm not even going to ask you how you thought about that last one because I can already tell you didn't like it. So
no, it's not that I didn't like it. You just gotta bring funny jokes to the table, bro.
Okay.
So that either tells me that like your humor is like you're not funny.
Bro, I thought the PDF one kind of slapped. I can't lie.
Dude, your humor's so fucked.
Bro,
dude.
you watch anime, man. Okay, like that
And
says
they
more
have
about
funny
your
shit in
personality
anime,
than
bro.
anything. So we're gonna end it off there. Thank you guys for watching Fly Under the Radar, where we're still figuring out how to run a podcast. We'll see you next week, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Wait, what do you mean? We're learning to run a podcast. Isn't like the thing different?
What do you mean?
Like the intro,
But
right?
this is the outro.
Yeah, but
We're
we
not
should
gonna
still
say, we're
the
not
same
gonna say
shit.
the same thing in the beginning and the end.
Why not?
Why would we say that?
It's like a sandwich, Like you have like
Okay.
the intro.
This guy's hungry. He wants to eat a sandwich.
Dude, I'm so fucking hungry right now, dude.
So we're gonna end it there. But last episode we fumbled the beginning. This episode we fumbled the end. So hopefully next episode we can have everything flow correctly. And yeah, any final words, good sir?
Yeah, I wonder what fucking sandwich I'm gonna have now, dude.